Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day this video may find you. Um, okay, people. So it's been a while since I've done a video. It's been so many topics to discuss that I just didn't know what I wanted to, where I wanted to go to next. So I've been doing some praying and asking God to just, help guide me in which area do I go to first? What do I do next? And it's been on my heart. Relationships is a thing that I did want to eventually get into talking about on my channel. And um, there is some YouTube platforms that I've been introduced to by my daughter, my oldest daughter, that I find very concerning. And so one of them in particular is a guy by the name of Kevin Samuels. And he's given a lot of advice to women about them being the woman that they need to be to get the man that they want, right? And I'm not saying that I don't agree with everything that he's saying. However, I found a lot of the things that he was saying very problematic, okay? Um, and so I just wanted to, to actually do a video going over some of these things because it looks like a lot of women are going to his platform. I mean, I must admit, I go on there to like just observe and listen to see like what exactly is being said, what are the questions that are being asked, and the response to it. And in doing so, I'm like, oh my gosh, people are really taken into this guy, and I've seen that happen with a lot of different socialites, I'd say. They come up with ideas and such, and people just cling on to it because they're saying some really good things. Like I said, some of the stuff he's saying is, he's on point about, but he's very contradicting in his words and his answers to a lot of things. The way that he has his platform set up with in terms of when the women are when he's trying to help them figure out, can they actually get a man and keep a man and all that. He breaks it down until he starts getting into your body and all that and everything. And I get the part about the health part and everything, but some of this stuff is very problematic, and I'm going to explain to you why. This is a very extensive conversation. So I'm just going to try to start off with this video, and I'll do some more moving forward. But what I basically saw missing in his videos, you can tell that his videos are just based on his own perception and the perception of other men that he knows, or maybe people that he's seen. I don't see any real biblical foundation in what he's telling people. In fact, there was one lady that was on one of his shows, and she said that she had been absent, I think, about maybe 3 or 4 years. And he literally said to the woman, how are you going to put that out there and then bring it back in? Telling her how she's going to start having sexual intercourse with people and then try to stop doing it. I mean, that is like so crazy. And then I just was like, wow. And me and my daughter, like, and women, they're actually listening to this. So I was like, oh my gosh. So, women, that is a good thing. That is a good thing, because you started out a way. Look, that's what the second birth is about. You know, we're born in this world to our parents, and you know, our parents may raise us, or grandparents, or somebody. People shaped us. You know, even our own desires shape us, and we fall into doing things that the world has told us that it's okay. And one day, you know, with our search and our journey on doing self-reflection and our relationship with God, we figure out, okay, you know what? That's not the way things should be. Okay? And if we found out that we should not be having sex prior to marriage, what's wrong with the woman making that adjustment? I A good man, the kind of man that that's per se going to be a good man, he would admire that. He would love that, because he has come to a place where he understands that his body is a temple as well, and he wants to respect you, and he's going to do things different from the way that we've been doing it. Because I mean, honestly, we have to be honest with ourselves. Doing things the way that we want to do it, having intercourse and everything before marriage and everything, that's not working out. It hasn't worked out well at all. But that's just one of the things here, okay? But I just, you know, some people might be saying, you know, well, who are you? Why do you think that, you know, what you're saying is going to be beneficial to me, you know, to you? And, you know, I'm sure he'll probably look at me and say, you know, lady, you're probably like a 2 or 3 or something. According to his little math of, you know, on his scale of 10, right? Okay. But I've been with my husband for over 30 years, a little over 30 years. So, you know, he can say that. And, you know, I got a decent guy. You know, he's not a millionaire or nothing like that. He's a hard-working guy, and we're doing just fine, okay? So, but, you know, his 10, okay, and he's talking about his numbers, but he hadn't got a 10 yet, his own self, okay? But he can tell other people what they need to do to get the 10 and how they don't match up and everything, right? Okay, so anyway, so I'm just going to say that, you know, I've been in my relationship for, by the grace of God, really, you know, we did things, you know, just like the rest, you know, not exactly like the rest of them, but we did, were involved before marriage. We did things the wrong way, just like most Americans have done things. And we've had issues behind that, you know, but by the grace of God, we're still together, you know. I've raised grown children. My children are grown, male and female. I can stand on the success of these things because of God's grace and mercy. You know, had not I had a relationship with God, I wouldn't be able to stand here and say these things to you. I really wouldn't. That's just the God honest truth. And I'm a Christian woman that is not shaped by man's perception of the Bible, but by God's word, okay, itself. You know, me having a good relationship with God, understanding who God is. A person can't tell me something that's in the word and switch it up some kind of way, because, you know, when you know God and you have a personal relationship with him yourself, you're going to know if something is in his character, okay? I've also, you know, had studies in psychology, sociology, political science, philosophy, which are the foundation of our civilization, you know. You know, I know he's using the word modern men and women, but the issues are actually rooted in civilized men and women, okay? Because men and women didn't just now start having problems, okay? Issues been going on for a long time, okay? In terms of relationships and how a man should be, you know, as a husband and a father, and how a woman should be as a mother and a wife, you know. So, but in looking at the things that, Mr. Samuels, talked about and everything. Um, I will say, he, he had an insight on women and who the woman is in terms of that her being worthy of a man, but he leaves out um, whether the man is worthy of a good woman. I heard him say on his show that a man that makes a certain amount of money, that he can have, like, he can be a polygamist, he can have multiple sexual partners and everything. And hey, a woman that is dealing with a man like that, then hey, he has that money, so he should be able to do it if he wants to. Like, that's not a good man. That's not a 10. I'm sorry. No, nobody cares about their money. Like, he's saying that, women's money doesn't matter. Their money doesn't matter. It really doesn't. When you're talking about a good man, I'd really rather live in a modest home, where me and my husband have a decent life. We have everything that we want. And we're happy, rather than to live like in a home, a big, huge home with wealth and all these cars and everything, and I'm miserable. I'm feeling sad and low about myself because my husband out here messing with all these different women's and things. I'm probably feeling some kind of way, so I'm probably out there doing it too. It's just, no, that's not good. Like, but he's telling people this is the good life, okay? But I just wanted to bring some things to light also, in terms of the biblical aspect of it, okay? In Genesis 2:18, God created a woman because he said that it is not good that man should be alone, okay? He made this statement that men can live without women, but women can't live without men, okay? He kept bringing up this thing about physical, okay? That, women can't pick up the same things that men can pick up, yeah, that is true. That is true. However, we've had serious wars where our men was off um, in war, and then they were either gone in war, or either they got killed in war. Till women had to start working and doing these jobs that men, it used to be just men. That's actually how women started getting into different other work industries, to say that doesn't even make any sense. I know he had one lady on there, and he really keeps people on there that when they don't know what they're talking about, in to a certain extent, because he likes to talk to people that he can, like, he can out knowledge them, people that are on there that challenges his knowledge, he cuts them off. Like, he just cuts them off. But it was one lady on there, and she mentioned about going out to the ocean. We know that that's salt water. She should have mentioned, like, to a lake or a river, and then, you still have to do things. He act like women don't know how to do nothing. Like, I was a Girl Scout, okay? Literally, I'm in my little building here that I purchased, and I actually installated it myself. I put the walls up myself. Like, women can do, and there's women in these fields and such, that if men just disappeared, women could live without men. They could. They just teach the other women. Women are pretty much in every field now. So the women that do know how to do this could just teach other women how to do it. That's no problem there. But I just really don't think that that's where we need to be focused at, though. Because it brings us back to the men are better, women are better thing, right? And that is totally an issue, okay? That's part of the problem, okay? But this is what God said here, that woman is good for man, okay? This is God saying this, all right? And then Genesis 3:20, it says Adam called his wife Eve because she was the mother of all the living, okay? Now, this right here, the problem is most men don't understand why a woman is good for him, okay? That it's not good for him to be alone, and that's an issue that has come from society's perspectives, okay? But the Bible tells us what we're supposed to be as women and what they are supposed to be as men. Society, they basically tell us, okay, women, you're supposed to do this, this, and that, but they skip all over the responsibilities of a man except the monetary part of it, okay? And so because they only talk about the monetary part of it, it basically put men in a place where it's like, well, all people need you for is money. That's why you can have situations where fathers don't have good relationships with their children because, they've been told and they've been taught that, as long as you work and you're bringing money in the home and you're paying the bills and everything, you're doing your part. But no, there's more than just the monetary side of it, okay, for a man. Children need guidance from their fathers as well. I hear him talk a lot about women that have didn't have fathers. You can have a father and a mother and they be totally absent mentally, cannot really help you in terms of what a mother or a father needs. There are some people that don't get mother or father skills until they're well over in their 60s or 70s or whatever. They just had kids, so that's very flawed. So the main issue though here is in our civilized society is people are marrying people in their brokenness, where they haven't fixed the woman hadn't fixed her issues and the man hadn't fixed his issues. From what I'm meaning by issues in terms of what God's will is for us. I know a lot of people, some people don't believe in God or whatever, but I can tell you this, he's the one. Okay, he's the one. There's nothing in that Bible that you can see. People have taken things and misworded it and such in a way that it takes away from the word, but that's what man has done with it, okay? But the way that God means for things to be is always good. It's never bad, okay? All right, over here in Proverbs 31:10, the Bible says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies, okay? This means that a virtuous woman is priceless. Now, the problem with that is, a lot of women don't know and understand exactly what being a virtuous woman is. And there are men that don't understand that they got a problem with when a person is a virtuous woman, okay? Um, it goes on to say in Proverbs 31:11 that the heart of her husband doth safely trust her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Okay? Now, if a man gets a woman less than that, what does that say about him? Okay? He blames the woman. However, you pick the woman. And the woman that you pick does reflect on the man that you are. Okay? It does. People tend to want to blame other people for, like, they was in this relationship and this person did them like this and they was in that relationship. If you look at yourself, it's all about self-reflection, people. If you look at yourself, you can say, this is why I'm attracting these kind of men. This is why I am choosing these kind of women. You know, it's self-reflection. You can't, you saying that this happened, but what is it about you that keeps allowing this kind of person to be in your life? That's a man or a woman. Okay? And let me tell you this thing about when a man and a woman come together in brokenness, the woman is, like, we have this nurturing nature, okay? And usually because of that, we carry the bulk of the weight of the emotional things in a relationship, okay? And I'm not saying this 100% scale, because there are some guys that been raised in homes where they understand the word and they understand who they're supposed to be as a man, and they're willing to take part of the responsibility and raising the kids and the mental aspect of holding down a relationship. However, in so many cases, women are being the person that is holding down the relationship mentally. Okay? And stress is the number one cause of disease. Okay? The number one cause of disease. Now, grant you, men, when they have issues, they tend to hold it in. That's why a lot of them end up having heart attacks and such, because instead of talking their issues out, we talk too much, they don't talk enough. Okay? I mean, seriously, women, we usually talk too much. We'll give you the full blown, but men, they won't talk so much about what's going on inside, the problems that they're having inside. So, but women, we deal with, women, we're left to deal with those issues with the husband. And then we have to deal with the emotional issues with the children. And then we have to deal with our own emotional issues, okay? And like I said, that's the number one cause of disease. Like this guy, when he puts on this scale here, like, what size are you and everything. And these tiny women, I don't know. Me and my daughter was like, oh my gosh, like my daughter, she's really, really tiny. But the size that he said, I think he said like a 1 and 2. Like I was literally like 14 years old. And I remember being so little. I remember wearing a size 1 and size 3 in my teenage years. And I remember being so ashamed of it. Like I wanted to be bigger. Like I remember being 125 pounds and was just happy to get there. But for a full-grown woman, I don't know what he's talking about. Full-grown woman, 125 pounds, okay, whatever. However, the reason why I wanted to bring that out was, and the thing about stress and so forth, and it being a part of disease and everything. Women, because we actually not only reproduce, we carry a human inside of our bodies. Okay. um, I have 3 children, but I've had 7 pregnancies. Okay, my body has been through a lot in terms of my reproduction. Okay, but God did bless me where I do have 2 daughters and I have a son that did live. Okay, um, but and I've always been the person like trying to help out everyone, and you know, mentally help this one and that one and da da da, and my own, my own family and such, but and most women are like that, where it used to be. This new, like he said, there is problems with this modern age thing, but I'm gonna tell you where the problem came in at. This is where I'm telling you where it came from. A woman doing all of that, being that emotional person there for the family, a lot of times end up with health issues that they end up having to be on some kind of medication and everything. Like, for instance, for me, I was diagnosed with 2 autoimmune diseases in my 30s, okay? My mid 30s. And I was a size 8'10" at the time. Like, I don't know what he's talking about, that 1-2, but 8'10" for me, oh my gosh, that was a dream for my husband and a dream for me. I was happy with that size. Now, I ended up having to take steroids and some other drugs and everything to get the disease in line. In 4 months' time, I went from that 8'10" to a size 16, 18. From 2 different drugs to 14 different medications. I never had a weight problem before taking those drugs, and I've been struggling ever since. This was like 37 years old, so I'm kicking into 40. Now you got things where you're going into all kind of menopausal stuff. Your energy and everything is low. You have the thyroid issues going on. Like, literally, just having those diseases and taking those drugs put me into a situation when I was in the middle of my hormones and everything changing up, and me having other factors that caused me to have to alter things on the inside to get weight off and keep it off. Okay, so, but when you got a man like him that thinks like that, you don't want a man like that. Okay, and you don't want a woman like that either, men. If you got somebody that the physical aspects is there, like at the top goal there, you got a problem, because the older you get, male or female, your appearance is going to start fading at some time, at some point. Okay, if you have someone that's there for you mainly because of that, your relationship won't last. It won't last at all. Okay, but here's the thing. For a woman to have done all of that, like, say, to raise the children, be there mentally for the man, to support him, to hold him down and everything, work with her own issues, or issues with her family and everything, and for her to turn out to end up having health issues, and then now she's no longer any good, that's a problem. And I'm going to tell you one reason why it's a problem, and the reason why what you call these modern women are in this, with this independent thing here. You got to understand that these modern women that you're talking about, there are daughters and granddaughters. Okay, we have people, young ladies that have seen their grandmothers and their mothers work hard and hold things down. That's with a man or without one. Okay? And I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about, you keep talking about the money and the man don't need you. The man does need this. A woman is the man's helpmate. Okay? We are designed to be there to help the man where he is needed, but he's also supposed to treat us like a queen and be good to us as well. That's the part that Mr. Samuels keep missing. The man's part. And he's talking about the women, but the reason why the women are the way that they are, they have seen their grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and their mothers work really, really hard at being a good woman to their husband and a good mother to their kids, and then they don't see them, they're not treated right. Or either the man ends up leaving them because his perception was, I want a good, vibrant woman that's in this body shape and everything, and she needs to be like that for the rest of her life. He's not even looking at the fact that, yeah, you have this woman here and she may be, say, 40 some 50 years old now. She's not what she used to be, but you played a part in that. Those years that is on her body came from her helping you. And then you got the nerve to devalue her because of that. You're supposed to, what the Bible said, you're supposed to look up to that woman. That's a virtuous woman. Like I said, the problem is the men don't know what a virtuous woman is. They don't know how to appreciate that. And so the women of today, they're like, forget that. There's no need in me being a virtuous woman because my grandma and my mom, them, they did this, and that, and they got treated like crap. They end up in poor health, and they're like, I'm not going to do that. But listen, young women, still do it. I'm telling you why you need to do it. Because the man that you get from you doing that is going to be that good man. Out here trying to be with somebody because of how much money they're making. Like all this where he's talking about these 6 figures and all that. Usually, I'm telling you, people that make a lot of money, they usually not faithful people. And again, I'm not going to say 100%. I'm just telling you, there's a problem with it on that level. Look how sexual things are now. Like you look and you watch these reality shows and how these stars and stuff live and everything, and you know, you're gauging your life on the way that they live. That's not going to work. And you be happy. I don't know why people aren't seeing the trend there. But I wanted to say these things because I really wanted to address the issues there where that the problems that the modern women are having is rooted in the problems that modern men are having. Okay? It's about self-reflection and you understanding what you're supposed to be as a man, and the woman understanding what she's supposed to be as a woman. But for him to devalue these people because they have a child, he said good men don't want a woman with a child. My oldest child is not my husband's biological child. She's not. But I've been locked down since I was 20. Okay? So I don't know what he calls that, but and I don't have a nothing, piece of whatever. I know, they look at, well, what kind of man? Hard working man. Very, very hard working. Not perfect. Nobody is, but he's a very, very hard working man. But he knew this was a jewel right here. He knew it. He understood that. Her father, we were together for 6 years. I was 14 years old when I met the dude. Okay? But he had his own issues. And, for a woman to be young and have made a decision to have a child young, and then it's a good thing to wake up and see if someone's not good for you. Don't let people make you feel bad about that. What we do need to do is stop doing things the wrong way. We're not supposed to be having sex outside of marriage. If people are going to do it, you need to do everything in your power to not have children. However, if you do, the child ends up paying more of the consequence than you do. So think about that, when you're making that choice, because that's really more about the child and their life, and you being able to both parents being in the child's life. But you can have a situation where, like I said, both of them can be physically there and not mentally there. So but anyways, I'm going to end this video with just saying that when you're listening to these people's advice, pay close attention to what they're saying, their delivery of it. Pay attention to contradictions in the wording. If you see somebody giving you some advice and they're basing it on how the world is today, or you could tell in his videos, he mentioned to one girl about her mom being a Southern belle, right? So you could tell it's a lot of respect for women that chose to get married early and stay and be able to cook and clean and everything, which is, those are things that people do frown on these days. Like I said, I'm not saying that everything that he's saying is wrong. There is some issues there. However, I noticed though too that he felt like it was okay for men to be cheating. So I think that his take on looking up to Southern belles is because a lot of our mothers and grandmothers, people my age, they didn't have the jobs like that women could have these days, and they had to put up with a lot of stuff because the men were the breadwinners. Not to say that there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're abusing your authority, if you're the breadwinner and you're saying, because I'm the breadwinner, then you need to allow me to do what I want to do. That's not the way it goes. It's not the way it goes at all. No, it's not. It's not. That's what the problem is. People make up their own perceptions. So you can't help these young women. He's supposed to be helping the modern women, he say. But how are you going to help them when you're basically telling them you need to check yourself, and you need to be more like your Southern Belle grandmothers and mothers and everything. And what part of that means is you need to let us men do what we want to do. No, that's the problem. Men need to know their place and what they're supposed to do, and it's not just making money. You're not supposed to be out there fornicating and everything and stuff too. You're supposed to respect your wife and your children. You're supposed to put in time with your wife and your children. Men have a part in the relationship as well, not just the women. And it's not just money. He talking we don't need nothing from you. Yes you do. Yes you do. God said it's not good for man to be alone. I'm going to end with that. Have a blessed day. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And stay faithful and prayerful. But be vigilant. We're still in the midst of this COVID. We got these different viruses going on. So still wear your mask, whether you've had the vaccine or not. So I'll probably be doing a couple more videos on this subject matter, but not so much about just his, an address to his, but I see that women do need more women out there that can help them get this on the right page. I understand all of this dressing and, trying to be like the stars and everything. I do things too. Like I just got my regular little hair out now today, but I wear braids and stuff and I do everything, but that stuff there shouldn't run you. I'm going to talk to you too about some issues where people are living beyond their means trying to keep up with what society is telling us to do. But I hope this is helpful. Have a blessed day. Stay safe. Be vigilant. Bye.